So, hello. Before I even introduce myself, this is not my normal voice. Yesterday, I couldn't even speak. So I pinged Paul, and I was just like, fucking hell. I'm supposed to talk in front of a huge crowd tomorrow, and my voice is gone. So today, I sound like a teenage boy, I would argue. So it's going to break a bit here and there. Bear with me, I still have interesting things to say. Um, so I work for Supercell. My name is Anna Bouveng. I'm the marketing lead for Clash of Clans. And I wanted to start with a rhetorical question. So what happens when you take one of the most successful mobile games in the world, Clash of Clans, and then you take like this rising superstar within football, Erling Haaland, and you mix the two together? What's the outcome? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. So, my speech is from goals to gold, marketing the Holland slash Clash of Clans crossover. And I want to start, before we even get into that, I actually want to get you like going a little bit. So I want to start by asking, how many here, mm, come on, have ever played Clash of Clans? How many of here know about Clash of Clans? Okay, that's better. That's better. I like that. For those of you that have never heard of this game, I'm gonna assume you're younger, because I'm that person, I assume things. And I'm gonna say this to you. Clash of Clans is a free-to-play mobile game. And I feel a little bit bad now, because there's been like Star Stable and Rovio, and everybody's been going at it for a long time, and we've only been here for 12 years. So it's not as much as some of the other games, but still a long time. We have about 2.5 billion downloads through those 12 years. And the core gameplay mechanic is building and battling. So you have your little village, you can see here in the picture. You take care of it, you build it, you upgrade your building, you expand it. And you have troops in this village that you bring to another person's village and you attack that village, hopefully scoring 3 stars. That's the whole core gameplay mechanic. A lot of other shit happens too, but you know, that's the core gameplay. And this has been around for a long time, so let's talk about the next person. So more young, almost more young than our game. Raise of hands. How many know about Erling Haaland? Oh, it's good. It's good. I'm happy. So Erling Haaland, for those of you who doesn't know him, is a 24-year-old Norwegian lad. He plays for Manchester City. He plays football, and I would argue, and those that are football fans might argue against me, but he's probably one of the best football strikers in the world today. He's had a decent season already. He had an amazing season last season. He keeps getting awards. He keeps, breaking records, and he keeps being this amazing person that he is. So basically, this guy is on fire. So another guy, a bit older. This is Seth Godin. He is a marketing guru, and I'm going to start by talking about why I'm actually doing marketing. And it's because some of the work that he's done, him and a bunch of other great marketing fellows out there. He's a visionary, and the one thing he's mostly known for is sparking conversation. Because in today's modern marketing landscape, it isn't really about who has the most billions of dollars to spend on a marketing campaign. We all know this. It's changed completely in the past 10, 15 years. With social media coming in, with influencers coming in, with things going viral, and you can't even predict it, it just happens. So, he has a lot of great ideas around sparking conversation. I can highly recommend his books if you haven't read them. And there are a lot about, creativity, creating emotional resonance within your consumers, and creating tribes, or as we in the game world would call communities, that are advocates for our games. So, we basically wanted to do the same thing with Haaland. We wanted to create this moment with people around the globe playing Clash of Clans or being football fans could come together, interact with our game and share these stories. So the most common question I get is, why Erling Haaland? Why would Clash of Clans that never had a real person in the game take this guy first out of everybody that exists on the planet? Well, for several reasons. The first reason being, he actually approached us. He said, I want to work with Clash of Clans. We were like, holy shit, this is great news. Let's go. No, we didn't say that, but we were thinking that. So we had to do some due diligence before we signed up for that. So we started by looking at our players today, like, what do they actually like? And it turns out, besides gaming, their second biggest hobby is sports. And out of all the sports in the world, football is actually the biggest sport out there. Over 3 billion people interact with football every year. It's more than anything else. And it turns out our players also love football. So we were like, okay, so he's like a rising football star. People know about him. So that's like ticking a box. But also, his audience aligns really well with our audience. And he also has audiences that we want to reach. So we saw like a chance to expand our gamer player pool. And even more importantly, his values align with us. Like Haaland is all about training and progressing, becoming better and better, which actually is what Clash of Clans is about. And that's what the whole dev team, we're thinking about that. How can we make this game continuously better? He's a fun-loving guy. We have a lot of humor in our game. And he's a warm and welcoming person. You know, he's a kind person. So we felt that his values really aligned with who we are as, you know, game devs. And finally, he has played Clash of Clans for 10 years. He started playing when he was 14 years old. And he's still playing Clash of Clans as a way to relax, rewind, spend time with his friends, connect wherever he is in the world playing a match. He can still go into the clan that he shares with his friends back home in Norway. So it's something very genuine and authentic in that. And that's also why he approached us. So how did we approach it? So we had ticked all of these boxes like, yeah, Haaland is great, we're great, everybody's great. What do we do with this? Well, it wasn't just a marketing campaign, because you know we can pay a ton of influencers to do marketing for Clash of Clans. We really wanted to take that and integrate that into the game in a way that, you know, feels authentic and believable, both for football fans and for existing Clash players. You know, we didn't want to compromise on our core gameplay mechanics, but we still wanted to, you know, expand. So I could go on and talk about how we did this, but the easiest way is actually to show you a 2-minute video of the marketing campaign, parts of the in-game integration, and also some of the outcomes. Let's see if I can get this to roll.
Clash of Clans has millions of monthly active users. But still, we're always coming up with innovative ways to bring in new players. And in 2024, we signed the best attacker in the world, the football superstar who keeps breaking records, Erling Haaland.
Clash of Clans is teaming up with one of the world's most popular footballers, Erling Haaland.
Erling Haaland.
Erling Haaland has got himself a new clan.
Haaland and football invaded Clash of Clans. We turned Haaland into the first real person to become a Clash in-game character. But that's not all. We also created challenges and brand new village scenery inspired by him. It all started with a film that got more than 30 million organic views in just a few days. Then, everyone wanted more football stars to come to the game. So, we partnered with the biggest legends in history to announce that...
Então quer dizer que o Haaland agora está no Clash of Clans. Mas quem devia estar lá sou eu.
They were not available in the game. But we didn't stop there.
Soy José García y en 2019 en el Mundial de Polonia, Haaland me metió 9 goles. Haaland tiene su aldea en Clash of Clans y todos la podemos atacar.
We targeted Haaland's rivals all across Europe with headlines provoking them in their cities and inviting them to take revenge in the game. Millions of them flooded Clash of Clans to raid his village and steal his resources.
The Payback Time Challenge.
Payback Time Challenge. Need to take down Erling Haaland's base.
And last but not least, we created an immersive experience in Buenos Aires where fans could not only play with Haaland, but also play like Haaland. Hey, Haaland. That's how we grew our legion of players in the game, while also expanding Haaland's global reach.
Massive win. How do you plan to celebrate tonight?
Clash of Clans.
So I'm glad you enjoy that. We enjoyed the results as well, I can tell you. So of course, when we have this collaboration and everybody's putting in, hundreds of people are putting in man-hours of work, months of work to make this really good for our players, we also want to make sure that we generate the most amount of conversation around this. We want people to talk about it everywhere, you know, and the best way to do that is to partner up. So we started with the people that are closest to mobile games, which are the app stores, so the Apples and Googles of the world, and ensure that they knew everything they needed to know to be able to really elevate this on the launch day. Secondly, we wanted to spark authentic dialogue amongst football fans and communities around the world, and we did that best through Haaland's social channels. So we ensured that he had the content he needed to be able to really, talk about this in an engaging way that also felt genuine to himself. And thirdly, we used our own social channels to spark dialogue amongst the Clash of Clans players. But not only that, at Supercell, we also have something called the Content Creator Program, which is a fantastic program where content creators around the world can sign up. And when they do that, if they're large enough and have the reach and the global impact, then they also get rewards when they do videos for our games. So this was a huge success amongst them. Like they went bananas with this. We've never seen as many videos come out of that program as when we did this. So that, of course, meant when all of these people are talking, the football fans, you have Haaland, you have our players, then the BBCs and the CNNs and the New York Times and the IGNs, they're like, hey, we also want to talk about this. So, of course, they started talking about it, showing it in their online streams, TV streams, and it created this huge snowball effect of conversation. And that's when you go from like a marketing campaign to a cultural moment. Because I think within these communities, many people talked about it over the coffee machines, over lunch. You wanted to share that you had, played with Haaland in the game, or, you had crushed his base, whatever it was. So that's success for marketing. So I'm going to give you a couple of, I don't know how many marketers are out in the audience, but I'm giving you a couple of tips that I think everybody can still take with them as you walk out of here to think about when you are thinking about partnerships, whether that is, with talents like Haaland, with IPs or brands. And the first one is authentic fit. Because the best marketing shouldn't feel like marketing. It should feel like a natural extension of your interest, It should feel like it aligns with your personal values. I'm going to take an example outside of this. How many here are interested in Spotify Wrapped when it comes out? Quite a lot of people. And it's been around for a long time. And I think that's brilliant marketing because we're actually excited about it. We're excited to see what we're listening to, how much we're listening to it. We're excited to share it with our friends. And, it's good for Spotify, it's good for the talents, the artists that are involved, and it's good for you because you feel engaged with your app. So I think that's really smart marketing. That's really a conversation driver as well. It needs to feel genuine to you as a player, to you as an audience. So that's why we chose Haaland, for all the reasons I mentioned before, his values being actually the most important, that we could stand by working with him, that we felt proud of working with him. And that's how you build trust, and that's how you build a connection with your audience. Secondly, I'm sorry, but lean on the data. And it's easy to say, and for those of you that are in smaller companies that might not have an analytical department that helps you, there's still things you can do, and there are consultants out there that can help you. Because, unexpected partnerships are very powerful, but you still need to have them grounded in some kind of information about your players and what they enjoy. So surprising and delighting alone isn't enough. Find out what your players' beliefs are. What makes them engaged? What makes them tick? At the end of the day, marketing is not about having the rock star. I'm saying that because we had a rock star, but it's not always about that. It's not always about being the loudest, but it's about being relevant with your specific audience. And then make it shareable. And I talked about this a little bit before. We created tons of cool videos with Haaland, 3D animations, all of these things that we shared through our social channels. But you don't have endless money to make endless content. And by making this shareable, so in our case, working with our content creators, they each took this, they got the freedom. We gave them information a week before this launched, trusting them that they wouldn't talk about this.